So excellent to see you all. I always enjoy my Monday afternoons to get to spend some time with you guys. It's a holiday week for us here in the U.S. It's Thanksgiving week, which is a pretty big holiday. So it's on Thursday, so we won't be doing much on Thursday. And Thursday, Friday, kind of have a long weekend, do some fun stuff. It'll be an interesting last half of the week for trading, but family, they're already starting to get into town. I went and played golf with my dad this morning for as many hours as I could, and then I started pooping out. And the guy is just an animal when it comes to golf. But good times. And Mel, congratulations to you. Good grief, that's excellent. Thursday morning session, probably not. So I'll update the calendar for members. But yes, Linda, probably not a Thursday morning session, but we will have Tuesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, and then I'll post some charts probably Thursday morning. We might have a Thursday morning session. I don't know. We'll see how things are moving. Okay, so we're Day Traders FX for anybody that is here for the first time, and if you are here for the first time, very, very welcome to you. You can visit the website. You can get a free trial to the trade group. You can do all that stuff by visiting this page right here, daytradersfx.com. Stop by, say hi, get a free trial to the trade group. We'd love to have you. This week, as we mentioned, is a big holiday for the U.S., so Thursday's probably going to be flat, but as I've mentioned before, I have seen huge moves on Thanksgiving, on this whole kind of Thanksgiving weekend, and it is not uncommon to get some wild activity this weekend. The latter part of this week. So I'm kind of fully expecting it. So I'm going to have some charts and some trades ready. We may not have a live session Thursday morning, but we're going to have some trades posted and ready to go in case things really start to scoot. And I've got a pretty good idea of some things that I want to be doing right this moment. We've got a little bit of news coming out this week. We kind of had the whole Fed thing. Interest rates are going up as long as employment numbers look good, as long as inflation looks good. That's pretty much what they said. There is some sneaking suspicion there might be the discount bank rate going up just a little bit. That did not happen. We have German IFO coming up, a little bit out of Australia, Central Bank, some inflation report details from the UK, GDP numbers for the US, durable good for the US on Wednesday, trade balance for New Zealand, and then we've got some GDP numbers for the UK on Friday. So it's not a heavy news week, but there's stuff. We got stuff. So don't be fooled by a little bit of a holiday week. Things could get wild and crazy. This Monday, the start of everything, has been a little bit slow. The stock market was up and down and all around a little bit. Ended up closing a little bit in the negative. Oil is kind of just hovering in those low 40s, hanging out around there. Nothing too terribly crazy. We're going to just see how some of this stuff is all supposed to set up. Now, I know I can sound boring sometimes because I talk about a lot of the kind of major pairs. Sometimes it's exciting to talk about, the Hungarian forint versus the Turkish lira, and if you don't mind a 400 pips spread, those are sometimes excellent currencies to trade. However, I think that we have got some really interesting opportunities on dollar pairs. I've been looking at all the yen pairs and all the Aussie and pound and all these other pairs, and I really am just most interested right now in US dollar pairs and some of the basics and the majors. I think we've got some good opportunities coming up here. So, number one, euro dollar is up and down and all around. It's kind of it dropped a good little bit starting this week off. It pulled back a little bit, 50, 60 pips, dropped another 50, 60 pips, back up another 50, 60 pips. It's just kind of all over the place. The euro dollar is all over the place. The interesting thing about the euro dollar is it's holding this lower trend line like a son of a gun, and that is pretty fantastic. This lower trend line of this, we had a little break out of this falling wedge. We had a little break out of the falling wedge, and then it just kind of came right back, but it seems to be really holding this trend line. It's tested this guy about 5 times already, once a couple weeks ago, twice last week, and then twice this week, and it seems to be holding on to that pretty well. I'm semi-set on the fact that I think probably this week we're going to get one more kind of shakeout. I'm kind of looking for a decent shakeout. Now, of course, we've got a couple of opportunities. We always need to be looking for Plan A and Plan B. And for me right now, Plan A is I think the euro dollar is going to rally a bit. I think we're going to get a little bit of a move higher on euro dollar. I think we're probably going to get up into 10700 and even potentially 10800. We have a nice pivot right here. You can see our current weekly pivot is just sitting here around 106.75. That's probably going to be a pretty easy target to hit. And then I'm not going to be surprised to see one. Remember, we have this 108.30, which is still kind of looming up here, but I think 10700 is a pretty easy target, and 10800 is a pretty possible target. And we start seeing those higher, especially anything above 10700. And I'm going to be looking for opportunities to short euro dollar from there. But I think it's going to push up just a bit more, and I'm going to tell you why I think that's going to happen. Why we're going to see just one more little bit of dollar weakness before we see the dollar strength. Euro has got some issues that are going to keep it pretty heavy, but I think there's going to be some running of positions. I think that we've got a pretty crowded U.S. dollar long situation going on. There's a lot of dollar longs in there, and I think there's going to be a little shakeout of that. So I'm looking for the euro dollar to run up again, anywhere between 50 to 100 pips, and then I'm going to be looking for opportunities to short the euro dollar down. I fully plan on trading the euro dollar down to parity. I think we're going to see euro dollar get to 1-to-1. It's gonna happen, and I'm gonna trade it down to that. But for the moment, we're probably going to see another 100 pips higher before it starts coming down. So again, in that 10700, 10750 even, let's start looking for opportunities to short euro dollar up even into 10800, and then from there we can just continue adding short positions and trading this thing on down. I think we've got a great opportunity for that. But I do think that the euro dollar is going to move higher. Pound dollar, I don't know that the pound dollar is going to have quite as much of that. But remember, the pound dollar, just a couple of things to keep in mind. The pound dollar broke below some of these crucial levels, about the 151.15 area, which was pretty important for me. It broke below that, and then it just busted right back up above that, 200 and change pips, and now it's just heading right back down again. And so anything below 151.15 for me, I like pound dollar shorts. I think that's a decent idea, and any movement even higher, I like pound dollar shorts. If this thing moves up into 15200, 152.50, I'm going to go for it. But definitely, I want to be short pound dollar below this 151.15, and I think there's going to be some nice movements to the downside on pound dollar below that whole area. So remember, we got to keep an eye kind of on the bigger picture and the bigger movements that we have going on here. So pound dollar should be a nice opportunity to short. So I'm definitely looking for euro dollar to run up a little bit, and then I'm going to short it. I think pound dollar might sit kind of heavy, and we might just be looking for an opportunity to short pound dollar through 151.15 and on down. I currently think the dollar Swiss franc is the best short-term trade I've ever seen in my entire life thus far, hands down, etc., etc. We have been playing around with the dollar Swiss franc quite a bit, and I think that this one is so glorious. When you use my indicator and you see that these numbers are what they are, our 1 hour chart, we have an average number of 139. We're currently almost 560 bars since the last time we touched. 300 pips, we're almost 3 times the maximum pips. This thing is just ready to rock and roll. And any movement up into the 102.100 area and 102.15 and anything above that, just start putting sell trades on. Just start shorting that thing as it's up around 102.100, and we're basically targeting at this point, I would like to see get all the way down to 100 point, kind of like the 50-ish area kind of zone. But at this point, I think we've got a good chance of at least getting down into the 101.25, 101.100 zone. So I'm not looking for a huge trade here. I'm looking for 50 to 100 pips down. On every move up, we need to be shorting the dollar Swiss franc. This is so overextended that this is what's making me a little bit short-term bullish euro dollar, because euro dollar and dollar Swiss franc move opposite of each other so well. That as this dollar Swiss franc continues to be so overextended, it's going to drop down, and that's going to push the euro dollar up to some degree. So I think we've got a great opportunity to short this anytime we get 15, 20, 25, 30 pips higher than it currently is. Anything up and above, at or above 10200, let's short dollar Swiss franc, and let's just look for moves down to 10150. Try to grab 40, 50, 60 pips, 70 pips on that. This is going to be such a great little trade. And as it dips down, as we finally take out that 200 moving average, which it will do, it's just going to have to do that because these numbers are so extended. Then we'll start talking about opportunities to buy dollar Swiss franc and trade it higher, and to short euro dollar and trade it down. But I got to get that 200 moving average hit first before I'm really going to get bullish US dollar again. So again, up around the 10200 area, 102.15, 102.20, short dollar Swiss franc, and target 101.25, 30. 101.50, that general area. Just try to grab, and you'll probably have a couple of chances to get some pretty decent pips on that. So that's what I'm looking for there. Quick thing on dollar CAD. Dollar CAD is topping out a little bit here. The dollar CAD doesn't have anything super significant anywhere, but the daily chart is slowly getting into something interesting. And it's had a bit of a double top here around the 134.50. And it just seems to be slowing just a hair. We have weak oil prices and a strong US dollar. It's probably going to blast through that. Watch for the dollar CAD to dip down. Look for some opportunities for some short-term sells, and then let's look for some opportunities to buy dips on dollar CAD as well. So as this thing drops down 1 and 200 pips, let's buy dips on dollar CAD. For sure. So I'm excited about that. Speaking of dollar pairs, I don't have anything interesting on New Zealand dollar or Aussie dollar. Those are doing not too much for me at the moment. Dollar yen is doing something pretty exciting here. The dollar yen has been running up this little trend line area for about a month. This trend, actually, this channel has been bumping up this channel. It had a nice little run up, pulled back right there. You can see that fantastic little channel it made. It broke out, and it's just back again. And it's really starting to consolidate and go sideways over the last 2 weeks or so. I'm looking for this dollar yen to break out of this channel finally and give us a little bit of a move lower. Once again, I'm looking for some US dollar weakness. I think we're going to see some dollar weakness for at least the short term. And so at this point, I'm kind of looking for some breaks of about 122.75 on dollar yen. If 122.75 goes, I think we could get at least a couple of pips. I think we can get 50 pips or so, 40 or 50 pips out of a move of breaking out of this channel. Then look for it to pull back and retest, and then let's see if we can get some dollar yen shorts in here. Otherwise, we're kind of working on a bit of a double top as well here. It's about 123.60-ish or so, which is the high of November. It's kind of been bouncing along that, so if it starts breaking above that 123.60 area, we may have some opportunities to trade this higher as well. But right now, 122.75 looks good. We break below that, look for 30, 40, 50, 100 pips of a move down there. And those are the most exciting pairs, I think, for right now. We've talked a bit about the pound Swiss franc. We're going to look at this one this week and kind of see how this plays out. There's some decent numbers over here on the 4-hour chart. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Pound CAD has been bouncing around. We've been talking about this 203.25 area, and it just continues to hop around there. So no trade yet, but we'll be watching. But really, I like this dollar yen. I think this 122.75 is a great area to short dollar yen. I like dollar CAD. We break above that high. We'll have something to do there, but I'm looking for it to dip down a little bit more, and I want to buy some dips. Dollar Swiss franc, I want this to get up to 102.00 and even a little bit above, and I want to just keep shorting this until it hits the 200 moving average. Remember, this is a moving target, so it's going to move around a bit, but I like shorting that until it hits that. I like being short pound dollar below 151.15, and I'm going to look for opportunities for the euro dollar to run up into 107.50, maybe even 10800, and then from there we'll look for some nice trades to take it back down again. Patrick, that is a good question. Why am I thinking U.S. dollar weakness? Because a couple of setups here. First off, as I mentioned, there's a heavy amount. If we look at the COT report, there's a heavy amount of dollar longs in the speculative retail trader department, and so that's kind of one thing that gets me a little shaken. There's a heavy, there's some profit taking that's going to be going on. There's some heavy positioning with the small traders there, and the small guys are typically wrong. Number one. Number two, my dollar Swiss franc. I'm telling you, the dollar Swiss franc right now is my barometer for the U.S. dollar. The dollar Swiss franc is telling me everything, and the fact that this is overextended on the short term chart as it is, this is telling me that we're probably and very possibly going to see a little bit of a correction across the dollar pairs towards some dollar weakness. But I'm definitely not looking to be long-term bearish U.S. dollar. I'm looking to be very short-term, probably this week, maybe even only half of this week, bearish U.S. dollar, and then I want to get bullish U.S. dollar once again. So dollar Swiss franc honestly is a huge one for me. That's really got me, not wanting to be bullish US dollar until this setup completes itself and gets hit. So good question, very good question. So all my energy is going to be on euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss franc, and dollar yen, with a little bit of attention to dollar CAD this week. And then of course I'll keep an eye on all the other pairs and any other setups that we get. But to start the week off, that's what I want to see. I want to see a little bit of dollar weakness, and then I want to see some dollar strength, and I want to jump into all of the above. So we've got some great trades this week. I'm really looking forward to the trading week. And like I said, even with the holidays and everything, I'm going to keep charts posted. I'm going to keep trade ideas coming for members, and I think it's going to be pretty exciting. So that should be good. You know what, Linda? I'm glad you brought that up, because gold, real quick, is one that I did want to mention. I have been watching gold quite a bit. I want to see gold just dip down a little bit more. I think we can get gold below some of these lows. I think we can get it down to 1,000, and I think we can even break 1,000. But anything below $1,000 on gold, I'm going to be buying that thing like crazy. I'm going to be buying gold coins and gold bricks and gold everything, including gold on this chart. So for the moment, I think it could get a little bit choppy, but I do like staying somewhat bearish gold, selling any rallies on this one, and trading it down. I think that $1,000 mark has got to get hit, and I feel very confident that it's going to get hit. So yeah, good question, very good question. Okay, good stuff, guys. Any other questions? Anything else you want to bring up? Anyone? Thanks. Thank you, Patrick. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody that will be celebrating it this week. It's going to be an exciting week. I'm looking forward to taking a little bit of time off and spending some time with family and friends and eating a lot, but there's going to be some great trades coming up this week as well.